All right. I think we can stick with these colors here. And man, oh man, is this a unique map. Not a map we've done too many times before. I have, like, a very good memory when it comes to the games I cast. And I was just saying that I remember one low elo cast on Baltic that ended up hitting YouTube. And I believe that was the Holy Ram, where the one player on one side of the map had a ram, which was protected by a bunch of hussars. And he tried to send it to one corner, and it padded the whole way across the map. It was a great game, a funny memory from a few years back. So both these players, around 850 elo. We've got Marty XL, who's playing as the Bohemians in the green. And then across the big lake in the middle, we've got BBS, who's playing as the Huns in the red. It is Christmas colors. Actually, just dawned on me the other day, we are almost 2 months away from Christmas, which is pretty wild. But yeah, I hope the colors will suit everyone who's watching. And the most exciting thing about this, no, it's not the water, it's not the sheep looking at the other sheep's, you know what? It's the relic in the middle. There's a relic in the middle of the ice. If I was a betting man, I would say that this would probably never be taken, but I feel like this relic should be worth more, you know? It should be, instead of giving you however much gold the second you get with a relic, it should be triple that, because it's a lot more difficult to get to. However, now I'm questioning it. Is this intended? Because look at it from a balance perspective. On green side, you have a relic and a relic. Red side, you have a relic and a relic. It would only make sense that the other one would be kind of towards the middle. I don't know. Maybe the map sometimes spawns it over here or something. But okay. So somebody had just asked me, T90, give me your opinions on Baltic. I want to know what you think about Baltic. And my thought is, there's a lot of water, and if you want to play the map correctly, you need to focus on the water. You need to skip your mill, as I say with all the water maps in low elo. Skip your mill in the Dark Age, get a dock up, and spam fishing ships as you're creating villagers. That's the way you win on this map. Rush to feudal age, make water, blah, 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 is basically how you should play it as the level rises. I don't love Baltic because I think it's too water dominant. Like, there are times with Baltic at a high level, again, it might not be the case here, where I feel like, why don't you just play islands? Because even though the landing and sneak potential is there, it doesn't normally happen. But I do really like Mediterranean. And so if you guys ever are voting for the new map pool, you might want to consider Mediterranean, because Mediterranean just has a smaller amount of water in the middle and just more land on the outside. I feel like it's a good combination. And green has weakened the boar with the TC and has lost the villager to the boar. So green was trying to be fancy, as all the pros do these days, and unfortunately lost villager to a boar. The funny thing that dawns on me in these moments is, like, green, let's say he played 20 games over the last 2 weeks. That might be the first time green has ever lost a boar doing that. But we just happened to see that mistake. So now green's got to be like, are you kidding me? Of course you see that game. You didn't see the other game where I beat 3 players and looked like a pro. You know, like, it's always in the back of my mind that we might not see. We might see people's best moments, but we also might see people's worst moments. Well, green's doing a lot of creative things on land so far. Weakened the board with the town center. Also pushed in the deer. But I'm not seeing green be too excited about docking right now. And meanwhile, we have red, who scouted the shoreline, went for a lumber camp, and is now going for a mining camp, a mill, and another mining camp. So again, like, already 850 elo is a really solid elo. These players are not playing the map properly right now. You definitely want to be making fishing ships. Fishing ships, it's a great source of food income. But again, the best way to explain this is that your town center is an eco building. Oh my God. Okay. I wasn't certain of it before, but I'm certain of it now. We are officially casting green's worst game of the month. Oh, God. I feel bad now. Oh, God. Oh, God. No, it continues to run away, too. Marty, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. Okay, to complete my thought, as we watch green struggle, Thankfully, all the animals are about to be dead, so I think the pain will be finished. Your town center is an eco building, right? And we always talk about how important it is to keep your eco buildings running so you can have more economy and more resources to do things with. The only way in Dark Age and Feudal Age you get another eco building that can produce eco units is the dock. So again, it's massive. Like, if the dock was up and producing all the way up to this point, that player would have 6 fishing ships, which would lead this to be like 29, which would mean this would be 26. And it's not like a farm where you have to reseed it. You could, in theory, fish all of it in the middle. Anywho. So yeah, like those are kind of my tips for the map. But we're going to talk about how these guys have played it now. And it kind of looks like Red has gone for the variety approach. Red just like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And maybe Red will click up to Castle Age here shortly. Green is going to gold. And now Green is going to dock. So Green has scouted the shoreline and realizes how helpful that is. Now, another tip, and this can be really fun to watch for sometimes, is if you are going to fully focus on the water, if you scout an opening like this, like Red has, you could send a villager over there and wall it up. I mean, shoot, even if you don't want to focus on water, you could just wall it up so you don't get hit by anything. It helps you be a lot safer. Along the same lines, just to continue with this conversation about fishing ships and adding additional eco, you could think about it from the reverse perspective. This is how it helped me process it when I was a noob. Losing a villager, okay, when you have 5 villagers, is a 20% eco loss, correct? If I'm doing the math on that correctly anyways. Losing a villager when you've got 20 is 5%, I think? 5%? Maybe something like that. Again, I suck at math, so I think that's what it is. Anyways, the point is, it's like adding 1 or 2 extra things, losing 1 or 2 extra things matters less the longer the game goes. So when you're thinking about fishing ships now, like, sure, it's nice, and you should definitely still try to do it, but it's not near as beneficial, and it doesn't feel near as strong as if you were to have done it earlier on in Dark Age. That's my whole thought. Now, I'm not saying don't add fish at this stage. I'm just saying the Dark Age is where it really helps. What the? Oh my god. I think I have found my 18-year-old self here. This is how I used to think was like the best way to play the game. I used to say, send a couple villagers on stone, drop a couple towers, and they can't do anything to me. But look at this, guys. It's 3 towers in the same spot. Tower on the wood, tower on the stone, tower on the gold. However, the tower on the stone and the gold protects the wood. The tower on the wood and stone protects the gold. The tower on the stone and on the wood and the gold protects the stone. I think I got that correctly. So that is like the safest area to collect resources on the entire map. Green has pulled ahead a little bit with the eco count at this point. And Green Scout has actually showed up to Red Space. And Red rang the town bell. That actually was auto scout from Green, I believe. You could see how it scouted the right corner thoroughly. But it's funny how right after we mentioned that, Green runs past the towers. What about Red Scout? Okay, that is also auto scout. But Red has already located Green. I don't think it was auto scout when he was over here. I think that was manual. But now the way it's moving is definitely auto scout. Okay. Also, fishing deep fish is more efficient than fishing short fish. So you definitely want to work on that if you can. And Green goes, you know what? That's actually a great idea. Wow, my opponent did that. I'm going to do that too. I think this happens a lot in Age of Empires too. I don't know how many people watching relate to this, but there's a lot of anxiety that can sometimes come in when playing online Age of Empires. And so there's a lot of worry, and there's a lack of self-belief. Like, sure, you'll have the random 700 elo player, which will be like, oh my god, hurrah, when he, like, shoots a boar with his TC or something. But, like, for the most part, I think people who are playing, they don't really, like, they're a little uneasy about things, and they just don't really feel like they're doing everything right. And so sometimes with that, you assume oh God, I'm going to lose. Oh God, I'm going to lose. Oh God, what mistake's going to happen? And when you see something like this, you're like, you immediately assume your opponent is onto something because you don't have faith in your own decisions. So you will do what your opponent has done. Does that make sense? I mean, that's what I recall doing. And like, you know, that is kind of how it works in some ways at a higher level too. Was it Age of Kings or Conquerors in which Tootin' Towers had crazy range? I think it was the TCs, but I don't remember if it was the towers as well. But that would have been Age of Kings. But the big thing that people talked about was more so the town centers back then. Not necessarily the towers. Green's looking towards Castle Age, so is red. They have not really prioritized controlling the water. But, you know, they are fishing at the very least, and obviously you've got to think this is going to shift towards land. That's at least what this feels like at the moment. Red is still auto-scouting, and will know all about Green's base. Green still auto-scouting, I think. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty thorough again, so it looks like auto-scout. Why is deep fish better than shore fish? Does it collect faster? So I can't give you a why in terms of like why they do it, but yeah. So I think it collects. I think fishing ships collect faster. I don't have the exact math, but they collect faster from deep fish. But they also hold more per trip, which is a big thing. Now, obviously, shore fish at the start are pretty close, but like when you start to travel longer distances, you don't want to make the trips quite as frequently. But yeah, that's the basics of it. Green is going to eventually wall this off, and we'll be pretty well protected, it looks like. 90 seconds away from Castle Age. Going to make archers. And wow, look at red at the moment. Red's going to make a fishing ship and then a demo ship. Stash, I'm happy to hear it. I hope your flight situation's getting sorted out, by the way. From what I picked up yesterday, it seemed like it was a bit of a nightmare, so. Now, to make things even more confusing about the whole gather rate, villagers collecting shorefish is one of the fastest food sources in the game. But fishing ships on shorefish is one of the slowest food sources in the game. Oh, Red, are you kidding me? Red's making another one. Red just suicide bombed this guy's dock. Did he set the gather point there? Oh, boy. It's a moon sailing ship. Let's go. Oh. Well, that's one strategy. How many fuel age demos does it take to take out a dock, though? He's done 430 HP of damage. The answer is a lot more. And actually, oh, I forgot to remove the mod, guys. Why did no one remind me? These are knights. But it's a mod where there's armored penguins riding polar bears instead. And the army has arrived, and there goes another demo. But the knights are in, and like this is some really good damage. It also delays the stables from green. But I mean, green has archers. Green could fight this back with archers. Green just hasn't done so yet. Nice aggressive start here from red. The demo thing's hilarious to me. Because he might eventually take the dock out. Would have made more sense to make actual navy, I think. But he likes the one and done routine. It is true, actually, that these things fit in perfectly to the environment. It's true. Bohemian Spearmen do extra bonus damage, which can be helpful. And there goes the demo. What's funny is the demo is connecting with the ships as well as the dock. That's what's cracking me up about this. Anyways, red is going to back away. Red is going to make another demo. So, what I'm hoping happens here is I'm hoping he eventually takes out the dock, and then someone can do the math on how expensive it was to take out the dock. Because it's not cheap. Also, you know how I always tell you get your eco upgrades? Don't listen to that, because then you're going to chop through the wood too fast, and the knights are going to run into your wood line. Don't get your eco upgrades, guys. Oh, man, I feel so bad for green. Green had everything locked down, and then red went for it. And, you know, there is a saying, you make your own luck. You have to put in the work, you have to scout, you have to make things happen here. If you want to benefit like red did. A lot of other players are just going to sit back and assume it's walled and not really check. Good job from red. That said, it's still a very close game. Is there still demos coming out? Oh my god. He's still doing it. So I think he just needs 3 more demos to connect. We're going to see, wow, second town center from red. Red likes to make things very close together. I wonder if he plays in like a really zoomed in screen. Here comes the demo, and bam! Here come the knights again. Green did make a new house there. Well played, green. Red is very active. I mean, green still wants to fish, so there's that. Houses are now being attacked by the polar bear penguins. The pikemen have arrived. There goes the demo. Demo connects with the dock. Red now runs away with the knights. 800 some elo. You have to give it to them. They're very active. They've got a lot more speed. Okay, this is now at 200 HP. So I think if my math is correct, this should just be enough. Assuming it full connects, because you can have like a partial connect. Bam! No fish for you. And now green just makes another dock for 150 wood, and green's completely fine. I mean, to be honest, green probably wanted a new dock to be closer to more fish anyways. Yeah, green's just like, okay, whatever. Fervor's on the way. Fervor not only increases monk speed, but it increases villager speed for the Bohemians. Here comes another demo. Again, actually a pretty good demo. Now, this is just an idea, okay? But alternatively, what you could do is you could make fire galleys, which red is now doing, and they don't die after they attack. So, like, if he would have made, what do you make, like 8 demos? If he would have made 8 fire galleys, he's destroying all the docks, and he's putting green under a lot of constant pressure on the shoreline. So, I love how red added cav archers, though, because your opponents made pikemen. It makes sense to get a little bit of ranged units out. We're not seeing that many cav archers, though, and green's army composition is actually still pretty good. We are seeing some Tarkans as well, which I don't think will be polar bears. Yeah, they're just normal Tarkans. Hey, by the way, this is yet another reminder to the devs. Tag them on your socials, you know, put in a support ticket. Don't get too spammy. Just be respectful about it, about how Tarkans lost their thump in the definitive edition. They used to thump, the thump, the thump. Green, do you really want to build this castle? You know there's an army out here. Well, thank God for Fervor, am I right? Those villagers are speedy. That's before wheelbarrow, guys. Normally, villagers would be a lot faster if wheelbarrow was in at this time. Listen! Okay, he deleted it. But yeah, there was no thumping from the Tarkin. They used to thump. Does a demo do the same damage if you detonate it yourself as if someone kills it close to your units? Yes, it does. It was a good castle spot. It's just the fact, I mean, I would prefer it here, to be honest. But I mean, green's got tons of stone, so. Yeah, green just didn't have the army there. All right, so I mean, the water has mattered a bit. But at this stage of the game, it's more about land. You've got 2 TCs. A very Hunnish army composition. I love it. Tarkans, knights, cav archers. You don't see it every day. Yeah, Cavfrev, the Tarkans definitely don't have thump. There might be a mod that you can download, but it's not a capture age issue because I've tested it in game as well. Like I just played with Tarkans in a community game last week, and I was taking out town centers with silent Tarkans, and I have no additional mods to affect things, so it's definitely just the game. And I think people deserve to hear the thump for the Tarkans. But if there is a mod, I should probably download it. But then there's a question of if that actually works in capture. Well, the thing about knights and cav archers is they have a lot of HP and a lot of attack. So yes, they do cost gold, but they're able to get a really good engagement in there. We've got more army on the way. You can tell green is nervous about this. And red is so aggressive. Red runs right in. Now, let's see how much damage red can get out of this, because this army could get trapped and die. I love how aggressive red is. Again, it just truly embodies the spirit of Huns. Has killed 16 eco units, make it 17 eco units this game. Okay, we could see a garrison here, and there's a monk even. That monk collected some relics. Red collected some relics as well, though. Yeah, it does seem like red is going to lose this army, but man, is he using that mobility. He's going to try and run, guys. And he might even make it, too. He's going to make it. Let's go. I don't know if it's the thumb T9 he's talking about, though, as it's a pretty soft sound. Yeah, there is a soft sound currently, but... So I don't know how long you guys played the game. And everyone comes from a different background, I guess. But... the old Tarkans had a thump to it. A very distinct thump. Wow, this is cool. But Green's thinking, these raids are a problem, my civ is slower, let's lock it down with castles and walls. Very smart stonewall here. Like, this becomes a really awkward area for red to run into. Now, the biggest issue for green is the fact that green doesn't have food eco. Red is going to sell wood and buy a little bit of food, and is maybe thinking about imp at the moment. Honestly, the market could be used by green as well. It never feels great to have to buy 800 food, but if he knew that red had a castle here, he should do it. I haven't played the original version since I was in grade school. My only memory of Tarkan attacks sound is from DE. Yeah, exactly. Okay, green accidentally just queued up a trade cog, which is kind of funny. Looks like green must have lost a few fishing ships. Red is still making demos! Oh my god. Like, red, everything about red just fits to a T to someone who would love to play, like, Huns in Arabia, right? Like, red's like, I don't even care about water. I'm just going to send explosives out and just hope what happens. He's not paying attention to it. He doesn't care to micro. He just wants to focus on the land. By the way, no one has scouted the relic yet. And it's possible that that would happen soon if these fishing ships go elsewhere, or these fishing ships go elsewhere, or the Navy goes elsewhere. As red actually runs in, and again, red just like, I want to kill stuff. But red, you might be trapped here, buddy. Earlier, I think the raid was worth it, but this is a big mass to lose right before the Imperial Age as well. I don't know if red is going to easily be able to get out of here. It would definitely help green to get a full wall behind this. Oh, man, this should be a massive clear. Look, that's so many pikemen. Oh, red just lost everything in that engagement. And again, it's right before the Imperial Age. That's the worst possible time to take a fight like that. Ballistics is also going to kick in, which means this castle is going to connect with everything that runs away. But I guess everything was the wrong call. It was almost everything, and these two guys lived to tell the tale. Red is still massing demos. But it's making more knights. It's going to make more cav archers. Still no Imperial Age click for green, who has forgotten about farming eco. But to be fair, green is like being attacked all the time. Also is getting chemistry in Castle Age. That's why I thought initially it was imp, but then I remembered Green is Bohemian, so you can do that. I wonder which civilization gets both mining upgrades for free. Any guesses? Looking at the resources? Yep, might be the Bohemians. I just can't wait to see these demos. I can't wait to see what they accomplish. Did he do the math on how many demos it takes to take out a dock? Did he just click the dock again? I'm pretty sure he did. Oh, man, that's such a waste of resources, man. It's so stubborn. T90, how do you play Baltic, is what someone asked at the start. Not like this. Not like Red is doing. I mean, the other aspects of Red's play are great. But just making traditional Navy that isn't a one-and-done thing, something that lasts forever, potentially, is what you want to do. If my opponent hit Imp before me, I'd be freaking out and wanting to get to the Imperial Age. Not something that Green's really worried about, apparently. But Green does have crazy fortifications, to be fair. Yeah, Red's got amazing army activity. Red's got really good economy. So, I mean, I think Red is in a position to possibly win this game. Oh my god, bring the demos over here, Red. Bring the demos over here, please. Red's got monks to protect the army. Red will have Cavalier soon. Green goes out to repair this. Obviously, Green's going to have to fight this, right? Okay, now it's just a lonely treb on the shoreline. It's a trap is what it is. That pikeman thought that he could do the job. As suddenly Green sees the army. Another pikeman is heading out that way. He thinks better of it. Green's massing some knights. I know they look the same because it's still polar bears, but Green's missing so many upgrades. I don't think the knights will accomplish much, and I think if the pikemen get cleared out, Red's going to win this game. It's just a matter of if the cav archers can clear out the pikemen. Oh, man. Oh, it's so many pikes, so much bonus damage involved. And backs up towards the castle. Now Green's got to be careful here because that castle fire is going to help Red a lot. But Green's also under a lot of pressure and is probably very scared. Good job from Red to use the castle fire there. Save the trebuchets. And now the next push with the trebuchets should be even stronger. I think this has possibly gone past the point of no return. I think that for Green anyways, like, it might be too late to even click to the Imperial Age now. Also, love the monks healing up. Everything that Red has done here excites me. I'm, as many of you know, a big fan of the Hun civilization. It's a classic. And Red has pretty much embodied the Huns. Playing relatively open, being aggressive, using a lot of stable units. Red's the type of player that many people aspire to be, but also the type of player that a lot of other people out there hate to play against. There are many people who hate to be raided nonstop with stable units. It's very frustrating, and quite honestly doesn't make you feel too good. Down goes the Mangonel, so the Trebs continue to fire. Green's castle's not going to last much longer. And the Cav Archers combined with the Cavalier is just perfect. Desperation siege from Green, who actually can't get these things to roll over here properly. But Red says, don't worry, I'll help you, and I'll take your siege workshop out now, so the pathing will be fixed. And Green now says it's time for Imp. And Red has really done a good job with the economy, like we've stated so many times before. Red's even getting Paladin now. Paladin with full Imp armor. The only attack he'll be missing, or upgrade he'll be missing, sorry, is the attack. It's pretty sick. And just like continuous production. Skirm's also a great addition. Now he is missing upgrades for the Skirms too, but like, I think it's only Bracer he's missing, so it's not too bad. Yeah, you could, in Red's position, try and shift back to raiding like we saw before. But it has definitely reached that stage of the game where your raids have kind of paid off and have given you a lead. And now it's time to try and finish the game. That's a little painful. Didn't take him too long to react, though. Uh-oh. Ouch. The Paladin's in now. Green's going to make some hand cannons, something you can do in Castle Age with the Bohemians. The red just rushes in here, and now we'll rush back. It's a lot of army from green. Oh, painful. Insane army counts for both of them, actually. Red's got 69 army. Nice. But it's the perfect comp. It's just the range units need to be behind. But even still, you've got a lot of skirmishers in there, so this should lead to being a pretty decent clear-up. The error and panic implied by Red reenacting Pearl Harbor won him the game. Constant distraction. I mean, you can argue that the raids on land were successful because of the continuous annoyance on water. If you really wanted to stretch it, you could say that, yes. I didn't think of the Pearl Harbor comparison, but I guess I can kind of see it. Red's going to back up these trebuchets with a castle. And, well, this castle's going to go down for green. The whole army's going down for green. Green is dead. So sadly for green, we got to see that Dark Age, which was a little painful. And while green played well, I think what green lacked was a real plan besides just sitting back in this game. Red was a man with a plan. I don't know what BBS stands for. Big... Oh, this is dangerous. Big, something stable. Big, I was trying to think of something synonymous with, like, production. Because he's produced a lot out of the stables. But I cannot think of it at the moment, so. Any update on when AW2.net is coming back online, please? Eric, I don't think it will come back for a very long time. We could talk more about that later. Wow, GG. Again, I think we learned a lot in this one. I think there's going to be people out there who'll be like, oh, excellent point. Maybe what I can do is I could do X, Y, or Z tip that T90 brought up earlier. It's a different map. There's a lot of water on it, but Red said, screw the water. I'm going to explode everything I can and not really pay attention to it there. And then I'm going to shift onto land. Big booty spearmen, big balls stable, big bombard shots, big beautiful ships, big Berber stable, big booming stables, big belligerent stable, big bountiful stable, big beefy stables. Great ideas, guys. Great ideas, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyways, there's the KD. 153 kills, 96 deaths. Economically, Red beasted it, which makes it even more impressive because Red was the one raiding all the time. And it was... There was a lot of instances, too, where he lost his armies, but he had a really good outlook on the game. He said, well, guess what? If I lose my army, I'll make more because I have economy. So, more wood, more food, more stone, more gold. Wasn't Imp way faster than his opponent, was also in Castle Age a little bit faster, which I think helped with those knights. The APM tells us that green is the faster player. Just something to consider. Maybe green used a lot of that APM on water. Maybe green just didn't use enough of the APM to place farms, as that was something that Red definitely focused on. But, like, honestly, I think the way Red played this game, there's a lot of the approach of, let me make it easy on myself and do something, and then focus on my main task. And there were two instances. You had the water, which, again, was a bad move. Don't go doing that, unless you don't like resources. On water, he just said, I'm just going to demo that and not pay attention to it. And then I think on land, he said, I'm just going to drop towers so I don't have to worry about defense for now. So, I think green did a lot of things that higher elo players would do, like the fire ship edition, like the walls, like the castles, like the chemistry. But there's almost so many things you have to do to play a perfect Age of Empires 2 game that when green was focused on many of those other specific things, green wasn't able to focus on some of the basics as much. Anyways, I felt like it was a really good game. I hope people enjoyed that too. 850 elo is still very beastly. Oh, excuse me. Sorry for the yawn. And, apologies to Marty. Marty, if you ever do see this, my friend, I'm sorry that the Dark Age that you had ended up becoming a video. Again, I think about that sometimes. Like, oh man, that person, they're probably like, of course he uploads that one.